So good evening, everyone. Welcome to the first, I would say the first week of the year. And we're facing what we call the portion of Bereshit. Genesis is the first book of Moses. We're starting. And every time we're starting again, the reading from the beginning, we go back to, we rolling the scroll all the way back to the beginning. Many people think we restart again. It's not restart again, the same reading. It's you are different, therefore the reading is different. Even though it's the same exact reading that we read the whole entire year. And now we literally re-scroll it to the beginning, and now we're going to read it again. So we didn't change anything, right? And many people will think, oh, it's the same reading. We're always elevating. There's always movement in this world. The fact that sometimes, or most of the time, people feel stuck, people feel they're unheard of, people feel like, things not moving. Life is moving. Whether you move with them or not, it's something else. Therefore, the Torah, the scroll, the stories always evolve, always evolve. So therefore, when people are evolving in their life, and this is exactly what you want to make a decision in this week, to evolve spiritually, to evolve emotionally, to evolve mentally, to evolve. That's what it is. This is a decision you make today. Again, throughout the year, you have to remind yourself in different ways, but it's very important to understand that. Why? Because you otherwise, you're using an old consciousness. You're using your old self, and the new self that wants to be exposed, wants to be shared, wants to influence, cannot. Okay, so that's on the side, big picture, what we want to think about. Another thing is, we're reading again the entire Torah again. But if you think about yourself as you are in an expedition, right? You're on a journey. It's a lifetime of a journey or lifetimes of a journey, right? And you're not supposed to stop and say, okay, how much do I reveal in my journey? How much did I accumulate in my journey, right? In my expedition this year expedition, it's like a Columbus, right? Went on 4 different ones, right? But did he discover those lands, those places? No, that was already there before he came. Okay, so the idea is you need to be so inspired this week, this year. What is waiting for me there to be revealing? But if I stuck, I'm staying in my old self, I'm standing in my old me. I'm not creating a new expedition this year. I don't think I'm on a journey. Everything is the same thing, boring. So nothing to be discovered. Even if you have a huge revelation to expose this year for this world, it's not going to be revealed because you're stuck, because you're not taking the step, because you don't put yourself under this type of journeys, rules, which is, imagine you go on an expedition, and I can immediately, I got tired, I don't want to move, right? So there's lack of what needs to be revealed by you. When you decide to go, right, you have to make sure that you keep going this year, no matter what. Keep revealing, keep studying, keep connecting, keep helping, keep doing things. Whether if it's coming today or tomorrow, doesn't matter. But realizing this is what you're doing. Again, everything is there. Our job is not to say, okay, if they tell you, go find the land. So you think, hey, I'm going to go find the land. But really, the land wasn't the goal. It's what you find about yourself on the way. It's what you experience between you and others on the way. It's not the goal. It's what the journey allow you to experience. So this is this year. Wow. I'm interested to know what the Torah will reveal to me this year. Yeah, but if I don't open the book, I don't study, I don't go deeper, the Torah won't reveal for me anything. There's no new revelation, no new ideas. So therefore, when someone is deciding to be on that path, it's not about if you tell me what I'm going to find, that's going to get me excited to move. That's easy. You know, if I tell you go 5 blocks from here, there's a suitcase with $1,000, you're going to run there and take it. It's easy, right? You didn't grow or change from that. So each one of us needs to awaken this consciousness. And again, this is the genesis. This is the beginning of the new you, the new level of you. Okay, that's the big picture for us. In this portion, in this week, there's obviously the creation of the world and the creation of many new, the new lineage, a new generation that comes to this world. And obviously the story of Garden of Eden, the story of Adam and Eve, right? The snake, we're going to touch a little bit about it. But I want to start with few blessings that we want to receive from this week. And we know that the portion starts, it speaks about the creation of this world and how the Creator created this world. The first day, second day, third and fourth and fifth. And every day something else was created. Obviously, if you go deeper in that story, if you really look in how it's written chronologically or even, practically, it's not really practical, even the way it's written. Why that was created first, why that created second, and so forth. Some of that makes no sense. We don't have so much time to get into those details right now, but it's worth exploring if you have a chance to go read the Kabbalistic Bible and see the interaction there. So I want, first of all, to connect to that day where it speaks about the land, which is creating of Vatotse. It says Vatotse haaretz etz pri, etz oseh pri, meaning there was a creation of all the trees on the land, and each tree had fruits, right? Obviously, there is some trees who don't have fruits, right? Some trees who don't have smells or taste, right? Or flavors, right? So obviously, it's not all the trees it speaks about, but it's also specifically speak about now about a tree that will bear fruit. Number one blessings that I would like each one of us, and I'm speaking about it for I don't know how many years, and it's a blessing I'm asking to receive all the time for myself and whoever I'm coming in contact with. I want each one of us to emulate or to be like the soil, Mother Earth, at least as an individual that understand what does it mean. What is the soil, the land? The land, if you put any seed in the land doesn't ask questions, doesn't have agenda, doesn't have like calculation, you evil, you positive, you good, you bad, doesn't matter. You plant the seed, the land makes it grow. How much? Endless. Don't question, don't calculate. And if you, in each one of us, can be those individuals that anyone will come in contact with us, encounter in our circle, always grow, always manifesting. We don't have a narrow eye or an evil eye on how much they grow because you gave them an idea. or you go back and says, by the way, where's my paycheck? I gave you that idea 5 years ago. Feeding. Again, unless it's your business and you don't, again, this is part of your line of duty, so obviously you should get paid for that. But in general, the conscience should be, everyone that I meet, I want them to grow. I want them to experience greatness. That's the soil. That's how this world was created, with an endless, just to understand even the physical land, the soil, have consciousness of what? Endless growth and giving. Nothing for themselves. Everything that you're putting in, way more comes out. Way more comes out. Endless comes out. So I wish for all of us to be at least closer to that even something was planted in you, you gave tremendously more. That is, the ratio is completely different. As of now, the ratio is completely the opposite. We, all of us, getting from this universe way, way more than what we give back. Way more. We need to shift it. This is this year. This year, all of us shifting from the smallest seed that was planted, the smallest request that we get. We're giving tremendously more. We influence way more than what we get. That should be our blessings to receive. Second thing is, if you already bear fruit, what does it mean? Many people doing actions, taking actions, just because they taking the action. For example, we speak in spirituality, but sometimes when you do something over time, it takes away the flavor of how you do it. Let's say, in the beginning, even if you take someone that is religious, they're doing things religiously, right? Eventually, they're losing the flavor, the taste of what they're doing. It's just dry. Or sometimes people say, I'm always sharing, I'm always giving, I'm always helping. But yes, is there any flavor to what you gave? Or is already, tasteless, right? Flavorless. Well, you lose all touch with that. So it's important that not just to have the action to represent by the fruit or, or have things in my life, right? Fruits, result. Fruits is like a result. So the result come, but I don't feel the excitement from them. They have no flavor, right? Dry. So it's not just about having results in life. It's not just that this year will bear results of the deals. Imagine you have a deal that went amazing, but everybody hates you. And everybody don't like that deal. But we did that deal, but everybody's unhappy. Think about win-win. Win-win to everyone. Think about that. Nobody will left out in, in what you actually think to give, to do, or to create. Think about everybody. That's flavor. That's taste. So we know every time there's a good taste, good feeling, is attracting more and more and more. So this is part of what you would like to have as a gift this year. Another thing is in the word Bereshit. Bereshit is the word Genesis, in the beginning. In the beginning, God created heaven and the earth. What does it mean? This is all codes, my friend. By the way, beautiful, beautiful secret. If you take the word, apologize for the loss of voice, but it's such an important portion. I don't want to skip it or miss it at all. In the word Bereshit, in the beginning, Genesis, the book Genesis, the Zohar explained that there are 70 tikkunim, correction on this word. Let me explain to you what it means spiritually. Correction is not simply something is wrong, let's fix the word Bereshit. It's another point of view, 70 different point of view, 70 new layers, 70 new ways to see the word Bereshit. If you will have like an hour, I can break this word Bereshit to many, many, many parts, and you won't believe that from one word, you can build now an entire world based on this word consciousness, consciously, by the way. So we know that we're talking about there's 70 different ways or 70 different levels of correction in this word. What does it mean? And what do we want to receive as we enter into this week? Each one of us is like the word Bereshit. If you look at yourself, call yourself Bereshit, call yourself Genesis in the beginning, right? Yeah, whatever the name is. But imagine you are that. Each one of us have 70 different layers or 70 different ways to grow, to expand, and to express our beauty. Most of us, if you look at yourself, okay, I need to change one or two things. No, not major things. You know, I'm not a criminal. I'm not a this. I'm not that. If you look at anybody, I'll ask. I mean, majority of the people actually who come to these classes for sure will say, we're pretty good people. You know, I'm studying Kabbalah. I'm connecting. I'm this and that. I'm doing good things. I'm studying. Right? I'm not an evil person. Sometimes here and there, I have some issue, jealousy, or whatever, anger. No. There's so much beauty to who we are. And if we're not awaken those correction doesn't mean bad. Correction meaning expanding, expansion. That's what it means. When you're correcting, now you're opening up. Like imagine you have a room or you have a house, right? And if you correct the blueprint to a different way, now you can expand another balcony. Now you can expand to another roof. Now you can, if I move the blueprint to here or to there, right? Now I can see the sun from here, right? There's so many ways, right? So it's important not to get stuck on who you think you are. Don't get stuck on what you think you're doing in life. It's who you are. Don't get stuck on what people told you. This is who you are. We know you. No, nobody knows you. They think they know you. They know the outer layer of you, right? So don't let people dictate who you are. It's good to be exposed to see what people see about you. That's great. But there's so much beauty. Imagine this word have 70, there's those 70 corrections. Shiv'im tikunim. He says, Yekarim mipeninim. Each one of them is way more precious than the precious pearls that exist in this world. Each one of those corrections. And that's who we are. And that's what you want to receive from this portion. An openness that maybe somehow tomorrow, today, next week, you're going to see, wow, I can actually do that. I can actually become like that. I can actually, see myself helping in this way. Now, today, most of us are very confined with who we are and what we see. So, obviously, as we awaken this parasha this week, connecting to those different layers of you that you don't even know, those 70 different corrections that yekarim mipeninim, more precious than than pearls. In the word Bereshit, starts with the letter Bet, right? The letter Bet represents bracha, which is blessings, right? But really, the blessings, how do I receive those blessings? Is if I become Bereshit. The word Bereshit starts with the word bara, right? The first bara, which is creator. Liot bore, to become a creator. This is how you draw blessings. If you are a victim, if you are, again, victim, not in a way of like someone did something to you, but stay stuck in victim consciousness. Or if you just a vessel waiting to be filled. Oh, my friend, they don't care about me. They don't give me deals. Nobody thinks about me when they're doing a party. Or what about me consciousness? There's no blessings there. Blessings comes to whoever become the creator of his life, the Boreh, the creator. That's what we do. That's when we draw blessings. That's letter Bet. Usually if you open the Torah, you see it's always large one to indicate a connection to Binah consciousness. What's Binah? Binah is the supernal mother, the Mother Earth, the supernal mother, the protection of this world. That's real blessings. When you expand yourself to become the creator, you can draw blessings into your life. But how? Using that letter Bet, which is the beginning, also come from the word betach, which is trust. Trust is the same idea. People just trust when they see few results. People just trust when they already have no other way. But I want to change that, is to awaken trust in the system of light, in the system of this universe, not in the system of trusting people. It's nice. I'm not saying you don't have to trust people, but don't do hope, because people will disappoint you eventually, right? And then your trust has been questioned. So connect to trust, not because of who you trust. Trust as an essence, trust as a power. Have a trust within yourself. If you don't trust yourself, who will trust you? And the trust that you trust in others is fake because you don't trust yet here. So first of all, to awaken the trust in this world, in this year. Again, that's why when we're reading the Parashah, it says, first day. Not everything was created the first day. But I trust everything will be there. But what about, heaven and earth was created? What else? Okay, trust the light. Second day is coming and will bring you more, right? And then second day comes, and then the soil and the trees and that, and the third day came, and the sun and the moon, and right? And all of a sudden, so imagine if you're looking at creation just on the first day. You would say, what is it? What's going on here? There's just two, heaven and earth. That is sky and earth, nothing else, right? So what's going on here? You would think that nothing is really happening, right? But if you trust, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, 6 days, the 6th day, boom, the man was created. You were created. So sometimes, don't really rush or jump to conclusion or be too reactive. Trust is not something that, that manifests because you trust. Things are manifesting. The trust allows you to sustain yourself until it's manifest. You understand? So don't lose trust because you thought it's going to be tomorrow. So please conduct yourself this year that the trust is not questioned by you seeing nothing manifesting. It will manifest either way. But don't think because you trust it will manifest. Then otherwise you're defeating your own trust, right? So hope it's clear for you to awaken trust regardless of things happening or not. It's a tool, it's a power that we have. One is to trust yourself. all the time. And therefore, trusting people and all of that is secondary. More. It says that the man was created in the 6th day. In the 6 days, you see, God created Adam, the first man. And obviously, the story goes that, lo tov heyot Adam levado, it's not good that a human will be alone. So the Creator create a woman from the rib, as it says, of man. Apology for the time. I don't have time to get into these all secrets because there's so much. But obviously, that's not really just what we're talking about, or literally, that's what really happened. But when the man was born, the Creator assigned the man to says to the man, Vaikra ha'adam shemot lakol. So he says to the man, start naming everything, right? And that's what the man did. Name the trees, name the oceans, and everything was created but didn't have a name. Human being, the man was created and then calling names to the animals, to the vegetation kingdom, to the minerals, to the ocean and all the animals there. What is the secret that we want to understand here? Everything was created, and then the man was created at the end to rule over everything. This is something that most of us hearing that all the time. But it's very hard to be so responsible like that. That the animals in South Africa or in somehow not connected to you in Brazil are influenced by our actions today. The oceans, the rain, the earth, they are all influenced by our behavior. A human being, humanity needs to understand that. And if you read the Torah, it didn't say that Adam was a Jewish person or Christian or Muslim or Hindu. There wasn't any of that. There wasn't any of that in the creation of the world. It was humans who meant to take possession over this world. Each one of us need to understand the reason the Creator created everything and then put a man on top. So his consciousness, that's what it says, naming. Naming represents consciousness, right? So he needed to inject consciousness in everything that exists in this world. That was his job. So most of us need to take from that, and again, request for this year. I decided to grow. The entire world is growing. I decided to stay small and victim and judgmental and insecure. The entire world is like that, exactly like that. This is where it's come from. So now we have a chance, and we're speaking about it throughout the year. But this week, this reading, this is where you do, you are new you. It's not you of the old. Whatever you thought you heard about it last year. No. This year, we have to expand ourselves. The world expand. You shrink yourself, the world shrink. The desire to rule the world has to be there. Rule the world meaning not to be the ruler of everybody. Rule the world meaning that our consciousness will infuse goodness to this world, expansion to this world, beauty to this world. No, again, this is what human being meant to do. Go outside to the nature, look at nature and see, make nature grow. If you don't go to the nature, nature doesn't come to you, right? Meaning you don't meet each other. So you go there, you infuse it. You make an action that to show, hey, the tree, I came to visit you. Hey, the ocean, I came to visit, right? I didn't forget you. Animals, the kingdoms of everything around you is waiting to be serving you, waiting. But when we are not honorable, when we don't care about anything around us, why anything will be caring about us? Why? Why you see people walking in the street, they see garbage, they're not going to move it or pick it up. Or in your house even, right? So start being aware of your environment. Start realize it as a human being, not because somebody assigned you to that. This is my responsibility. This is how I grow. This is how the world grows. And when we don't, remember, we spoke about it, and obviously next week we're going to talk more about it. But there's not enough talking about it. The idea that if you see fire started in the world, Chas v'shalom, or you see earthquake or tsunami, or God forbid, all these catastrophe, it's a result of human being not taking back control over what we came to do. We came to rule this world with our consciousness. That's what we came to do. Not praying all day, God, give me a little bit more money, or make the deal work, or find my soulmate. If you're taking care of the world will take care of you, will ship you your soulmate, your deals, everything. But if you just care about my little spot, it's very nice. But this is this week. This week is like expanding. ויקרא אדם שמות לכל. And human being meant to call up everything in this world. Infuse everything with consciousness. Next, Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve, in Kabbalah, Kabbalists explain, it's the light and the vessel interaction. That's why when we speak of it, took a rib out of it, it's the same thing. The light and vessel, listen, this is the vessel, this is the light, the water inside is the light. Let's say, for example, can you separate them? You can't separate them. It's inseparable. This is this, yeah, but I can pour it, don't get too intellect. It's connected, it's in the same place. It's not separated, two separate entities. You and woman and man, doesn't matter. It's the same thing. It's in the same place. We all are a combination of both. So we need to learn how to work with those energies within us. We need to learn how to use it to grow. So one beautiful idea. There was a story of Garden of Eden, which is representing the falling of all humanity. Comes Adam, man, having Eve telling him what's going on here. Adam telling her, again, I'm going to tell it in down to earth type of story, okay? Comes Adam, tell Eve, listen, we can eat from everything here. Only from that tree, don't eat. Right? It was very clear. God told him, you eat from that, you'll die. Right? Adam tell the woman, same thing, to Eve. Later on comes the snake. Obviously, the snake wasn't in a figure of snake. He became snake after that particular falling. But it was what we call the negative side, our opponent, right? Because they had 6 hours to finish all the correction that this world needed. So in that 6 hours, that's where they fell. That's where the negative side was challenging them in a way, like all of us. All of us, before big things, before anything, you're about to get married, you're about to open a company, you're about to close it, anything you have, right before that, you're always going to have the challenge of your negative side, testing you, challenging you, right? Teasing you. In the story, the same way. The story of Garden of Eden is the story of every single day for us. Either you enter to the Garden of Eden or you're not. So what we can learn from that? Comes the negative side. And tell Eve, I see that, it's beautiful, beautiful garden. Why you don't eat it? Why, you're not going to that tree? And she replied, because God told Adam, and then you can read it, it's not me coming up with it. God told Adam, if we eat from that tree, we might die. That's how it's written. Obviously, the negative side comes to Eve and says, oh, so first of all, he told you not to eat. He told you, he didn't tell you don't look at it. So come, let's look at it. Let's look at it closely. He didn't tell you don't touch it, right? He didn't tell you, right? And he told you also that you might die. Because if you're going to do this action only for the sake of sharing, I think that's what the negative side convinced Eve. That's what you're going to do. And she fell into that. And she took a bite. And you know what? It was the best thing that she could do for herself. What was the problem? What was the problem? The problem is the second bite. She took another bite. And then she gave it to Adam. Because she was so convinced this is it. The first bite, she might be not falling so much. And that's challenge to all of us, right? It's the second time. It's the second slice of pizza. It's when you eat the cheesecake and you had a second bite. It's when you had one drink and you said, I'm going to a second one. That's when everything is gone. It's the second time that you do, that you take, that you ride on, right? Sometimes you're bragging about something. Okay, we got it one time. But second time already, we can't stand you anymore, right? It's that second time that we doing something. What's the problem in the second time? It's the kicking, the desire to receive for the self alone already tell you the second time. You might have the best intention the first time, but the second time, the ego kicks in, the selfishness kicks in, and the attachment kicks in because you already got the feelings in the first time. Wow, I want it again. Think about it. Unless it was something so scary that you don't want to go back. Like you go on a roller coaster, right? And you're scarred for the rest of your life, right? You don't want to go back. That's from the negative part. That's it, right? But positive, imagine you go skydiving and you had such a blast. As soon as you land, you say, I want to go again. Think about it. You go anytime. It's the second time is already my ego, is my selfishness. And therefore, what she fell into, Adam tell her why, right? He says, what do you want? Is the negative side convince me. The snake convinced me. Blaming, right? But first of all, we need to take responsibility. I'm not talking about the woman as a woman. I'm talking about us as the part of the vessel of us, right? That's Eve. You are Adam and Eve. The part of Eve of you is not just Adam was there and Eve was there. No, most of us communicating sometimes with people differently. right? Differently. With that person, you all of a sudden you communicate that way, and this person you communicate that way. How? Well, because you have many different ways to communicate, meaning part of your vessel can be communicate differently. That part of you, right? The Eve part of you, the vessel part of you, was communicating in a way of like opening, creating an opening. Pentemutun, we might die. You create an opening, the negative side enter, and that's you lost the game. And what happening right after? Blaming. If you find yourself blaming, it's because you have a second time. Because you took something second time. the desire to receive for the self alone start to kick in. And then you're never going to get it back, or people took from you. Start the blaming process. What do we learn from this? What do we want to take from that story? Very simple. Remember, don't create any opening. Don't leave anything open. Second, blaming, out of the game. Take it out of this year. Lack of responsibility, not part of our movie. We are responsible to our falling and to our greatness. Third, right? Mutual responsibility. What does it mean? I'm responsible to everyone in this world, which means when Adam and Eve fell, it's not that just they fell themselves. It's the entire humanity fell because of that. Imagine if you find yourself, you committed, God forbid, you committed a crime. If it's just hurting you, that's one thing. But when you're dragging your entire family, your entire community, your entire this, that's already a different story. Yeah, you committed a crime or whatever it is, that's one thing. But when you drag others to do that, when you drag others to fall, that is something that takes a toll or a different correction for you. So highly recommended to remember, when you fall, first of all, it's not a problem, but make sure you don't drag everybody. Sometimes you have that experience, right? You go and tell everybody. Why? Maybe that's not their movie. Wait a second. Why to completely ruin everything for everybody? So please, this year, if you fall, hold on, stay down, think about it. What type of opening I created, right? And stop the blame, take responsibility, and make sure you don't open your mouth and spread negativity just because you fell. Wait a second. We know that it says the story, and many people misunderstood it maybe because they don't study Kabbalah. They think that the Creator, sent away Adam and Eve from Garden of Eden, which is absolutely wrong. Creator doesn't have anything else besides sharing and giving more and more and more. Why would I send them away? Because they disobey what you told them. Yeah, but there is a process of change. Of course. But what happened? Vayitbosheshu. Adam and Eve, as soon as they fell, they were embarrassed and they felt shame of their action. And they felt unworthy. They left because they felt unworthy being there. Not from the Creator, not from the light of the Creator. So most of us, if you fall and you feel bad for yourself, right? It's not a problem, but take responsibility, change it, sitting there and feeling bad for yourself, sitting there and beating yourself up, that's when you leave your Garden of Eden. You can stay there if you take responsibility, close the opening that you left, stop the blaming, and realizing that what needs to change and move on. Keep moving. Stay in the Garden of Eden. It's all there. And the last thing, again, there's a couple more things, but how long are we? Okay. The story of Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel, there's, again, after the falling, already everything become, different. So in that fall, in the Cain and Abel story, you know that Cain and Abel brought offering, and only the offering of Abel was accepted. Cain was jealous, and he somehow took a rock and smashed his brother's head and killed him, right? Now you think it's like someone like that is bad. No. What was the problem? First of all, Cain didn't know that there is death in this world, meaning there wasn't any death before that, prior to that. So how would he know, right? How would he know that that's? First of all, the idea of jealousy has to be removed from this world and be transformed to a real positive envy, right? Envy meaning as far as like, I want to be like that, not I want what they have. Part of it is that to be very, very aware that between family, that's where, sometimes your family can be the most, quote unquote, negative things, right? Because your brother or sister see you so successful, they have bad intention for you sometime, or between friends, right? Someone want to get married, and then someone in 2 minutes, he find a soulmate, and you fighting for 20 years. Sometimes it can create that. Please, if you living around people, and if someone is more successful than you, or something like that, please awaken the desire to learn from them. What did you do? Not, I want what you have. Why you and not me? That take away. Why? Because you're dragging yourself to the reality of Cain, that you will be in a place that, not physical killing or death, but you're killing everything that wants to come to your life because of that type of desire. A desire to take what somebody else. No, I don't want what they have, but why them? That kills. That's Cain. That kills what want to come to you tomorrow. You see you're working with sales and marketing. You have the best, you are the best salesman. Next day, someone sold way more than you. How are you feeling? What? No way, I'm better. No. What did they do? I want to learn how to be like that, right? What can I learn? That is what you want to awaken. If you have any jealousy, you kill, like that's Cain. You kill whatever tomorrow deals want to come to you. So please, this is a very practical and important consciousness. Because it's Bereshit, I'm going to share one more thing. After the falling Garden of Eden, new reality was created, reality where we can earn back. But in a way, how this world was created, it says, it gives us a name, Acherev Hamitapechet, the double-edged sword. You probably heard that. It's an expression people speak about, but it comes from the Torah, from the probably first words of the Torah. It speaks about that double-edged sword. I want to bring it into a different place right now because we don't have time to expand on it. But it speaks about the Lahav HaCherev HaMitapechet, the sword, the Lahav, which is the sword, right? That's the Lahav. That's what it's called, Lahav. But what does it mean to our life? Very simple. Sometime, again, it's called lahavut. It's from the root lahavut or lahat. Lahat, which means I'm excited about it, right? Excitement of soul. But sometime in the heat of the moment, that's when the double-edged sword comes in. So you remind yourself, every time in a heated moment, you touching the sword. Which side of the sword you're gonna lead? If you're choosing in the moment of the heat to continue the heat, you're guiding your life and the moment into a very negative place, very, distraction place. But in the heat of the moment, you pause and you say to yourself, you know what? I'm gonna delay the need to respond in the heat of the moment when they text me, when they hit me with all those emails. I'm gonna wait for a second. You conduct yourself this way all the time. You're leading your life and others into a way better and stronger place. So this is just, I have a whole, maybe I'll do a whole lecture just about that, but I want to keep you with that and remind you to listen to it again if you can. Take the notes for yourself, and I wish you a beautiful rest of the week.